If you can't do skills, but you still want to beat defenders, I guess you're kind of... For me? Okay. Hello? Right. Oh, so there are still skills and things you can do, even if you can't do skills. Well, you heard the phone guy, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. And the first skill, that's actually not really a skill, is what we can call the foot wiggle, or the stutter step, if you will. And it's this very, very subtle little move that is extremely effective out there. And you don't have to go all Neymar and, just wiggle your feet all around. It's just this very subtle little move where when you come up to the defender, you kind of wiggle your foot in a little bit of a, you can wiggle it however you want, but you wiggle your foot to fake a touch going in one direction, hopefully fixating their balance and their weight in that direction. And then after that, you wiggle your foot again to actually take a touch, but in the other direction. Hopefully again, you activate that primal thing in the defender's brain, putting their weight over here because they want to block you off, leaving up open space behind them. And you can basically do it, like I said, you can make a little wiggle to fake that direction, then take the touch in the other one. But you can also come in and fake a pass this direction and then go the other direction. It's all about the deception of the defender, wrong footing them, putting the balance on the other foot. It's basically like a body feint with just a little bit of a sprinkle on top. And what you need to remember is that when you do this, you need to be on your toes. You need to have your weight on your toes, because not only will that give the vibe to the defender that, well, you're ready to go, so he or she should really try and be ready to block you off, but it'll also make you more agile. So when you make the little thing, boop, you can just go. And then it's all about practice. Set up an obstacle, a cone, a pole, whatever, approach it, and then do many little stutter steps, foot wiggles, whatever you want to call it, in many directions, so that when the player is finally in front of you, you don't really think about it, you just go. And that leads me to the second skill. That's actually not really a skill, but it's also very, very deadly effective out there. And if you can use and abuse this to your advantage, defenders are gonna hate you. I'm of course talking about something I've talked a lot about on the channel, momentum. And basically momentum on a football pitch is all about making sure that you take a touch and move in one direction with more speed, more forward speed, more momentum than the defender. Because that means you're moving faster than them, you're moving away from them, right? And you can do this in many ways. One thing is doing the body feint or the little stutter step foot wiggle I talked about, where you basically trick them into thinking you're going one direction, but then you go in the other. That means that they will have to recover before they can come after you. You have the initiative, you have the momentum. It could also be that you're just simply approaching them, slowing down your pace, lots of little touches, and then all of a sudden, you change your pace. Little burst of speed, because that means, again, you act and they react. That gives you the momentum. It could also be that you're in a situation where you're running at a pretty high speed, weaving in between defenders. And what you can do here is to just stop taking a touch, slow down your pace for maybe a step or two or three, and just look around. Because that will tell the defender that, oh, maybe you are uncertain of what to do. They will start moving in to pressure you, and then you can just have that change your pace again and move away. And finally, if the defender is chasing you at speed, you can really trick them by doing the stop and go, where you stop the ball and then immediately take a touch in the same direction. Because once again, this is gonna activate that primal instinct in the defender's brain. If you stop, they will think, oh, he stopped. I should try and take the ball. That will take a couple of split seconds for them to break. But if you're already off again, well, that's a problem for them, because they're thinking, okay, I'm braking. And by the time that they've slowed down, they will then realize, uh-oh, that's trouble, he's already going, and they will need to turn and accelerate after you again. That gives you the initiative, and you have momentum while they don't. So you're gonna clear them. And I know it sounds silly, something as momentum it's so effective, and it's a little tricky to just learn right away, but go out and train all these little things. The body feints, the change of pace, the stop and go, and the whole look and then go thing. And then with time and experience, it will come to you in matches as well. But momentum, it's a hell of a thing. And And then the third and final skill that's not really not at least an advanced skill, is something we've also talked a lot about on the channel, Croqueta, which is a very fancy name for the act of moving the ball from one foot to the other and taking a touch out with that second touch. And it works really well if you're facing a defender, maybe the ball is slightly ahead of you and they are trying to stick out a foot to make an interception or a tackle. And in that case, basically what you want to do is take one foot and then kind of scoop the ball across them and then touch it forward with the other touch, the other foot, right? Because that means that once you do this, they're sticking out their foot, you move the ball across their body and away, this way using momentum. See? They're done. It's over. And if you've seen any of my tutorials on Croqueta, you'll know that it's basically a scoop like that. Moving the ball with this scooping motion, that's the most effective because that also means that you move that first foot out of the way from the tackle. But if you're not really comfortable with that or you can't do it effectively yet, you can also just do a tap, tap and move away. Just make sure to get the trailing foot out of the way or you are gonna potentially at least face the tackle. And he's gonna fall now, so but yeah, Croqueta. It's a thing, it's simple, use momentum, just get it in. Poor defender, I'm just saying. So, 3 skills or things to do for players who either can't skill or just don't do that many skills in matches. But what should we do next? Well, let me know in the comment section right down below. You might also give other suggestions if they're not that big of a skiller. And of course, if you need new football boots, don't forget to go to the link to Unisport right over there. Subscribe to the channel with the notifications on if you haven't done so already. And if you want, well, more skills, I guess, there's a playlist right down there. With those words, I'll be signing off. Cheerio.